Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Live with Roger Hanson. Today, I am going to be going over some cool things that I've gotten started up here. Um, After that, I am going to also discuss some things that I was kind of debating on doing. But it's like I said before, this is Live with Roger Hanson. These are 12 episodes that I wanted to put together for for me, basically going over a lot of the things that I've done in the last year with live streaming, as well as just when it comes to being on the internet doing this stuff all together, which goes farther back than just the year I've done. There's something that I have been wanting to do, but I've been debating on doing it. I decided to go ahead with this because last night I was on Naroki 5 and we got into a conversation which involved what I want to talk about, and it's about spirituality and my thoughts on spirituality. Now, I talked about it before a while back with John Clark on the Wonderful World of Weirdness, and I haven't talked about it very much when it comes to that topic because well, there's a couple of things, and I'll get into that. But tonight I decided, that's something that I do want to get into because like a lot of other things, I think people do they get cross or they have a misunderstanding of what my spiritual beliefs are because I'm around a lot of people on the internet now that talks about spiritual matters and what their beliefs are. And to be honest with you, I really don't talk that much about it, about what my actual beliefs are and things of that nature. So I'm gonna do this episode with that in mind to where I can kind of go over some stuff. I don't think that it would take up 3 hours, so this time I'm going to maybe talk about some of the stuff that I've been doing while I've been on this supposed break of mine, and kind of go over it and let everybody see what's happening. Now, on a previous episode, I was talking about politics, and or a couple of them I was talking about politics. I even talked about political history. There's a few things that have taken place here in the last week that I thought I would mention. And the only reason why I'm mentioning it is because, we are coming up to the presidential election, and I should put a focus on it too, because I mean it is important, especially right now. So there's a couple of things that I thought that was interesting that I did find out that I believe should be shared. The first one is that whole thing concerning Elon Musk when he interviewed Donald Trump. I don't know if anybody's aware of it or not, but after he did the interview with Donald Trump, he ended up getting, and I find this entertaining, by the way, he ended up getting a threat from one of the people who are with the EU concerning the EU, and in response, he apparently sent a response to him that had a derogatory, or that was very derogatory. So basically, they made threats to Elon Musk, and Elon Musk pretty much told him to fuck off. I don't know if that's his words per se, but I do find that pretty interesting, and I think that's pretty good. I think that's the way a lot of these people need to respond to these threats that are made by government officials, especially when it comes to the EU. I don't really approve of the kind of tactics that they're taking when it comes to censoring people on the internet. And I really think that, that's an issue that's going to have to be taken up by us, the people who are on here and doing that. I know that it's getting harder and harder to actually speak your message and tell people, what it is that you, or how it is that you feel, and your opinions on topics that are on the internet. I think that that's something that really is an issue, that people are having to deal with now. And before long, I believe that it's something that we're all going to have to actually get together on, and maybe do like they did with YouTube about, minors being able to stream under the age of 13. It didn't take, or it wasn't YouTube who did that made it to where freaking you had to be above 13 to stream. It was actually people who were on the platform that had a problem with that, because it was exploiting, little kids. They'd let little 6-7-year-old kids get on the internet and and do video games and stuff like that. And finally, people who were on the actual platform put a stop to it. They said, "Look, man, we don't want that no more." And then they had to do an actual petition to have these people stop doing it. So that's how that came around to being, and I believe that when it comes to all this other stuff, that's probably going to end up being what needs to happen, because I'm saying this because even though it's YouTube I'm talking about, you need to understand that it's not just YouTube. Eventually this is going to spread. Like right now, we have a certain amount of freedoms that we have on platforms like Rumble. Twitter's or X is kind of lightening up because of Elon Musk. But if we let this stuff keep continuing, it's just going to keep building and building and building up. It's getting now to where you have to be careful about what you say on platforms like YouTube and Twitch. But on other platforms, you can get away with it still, but eventually that's going to go away. They're not going to tolerate it, and we're going to end up being censored there too. So I think it's an issue that nobody can really avoid. I was saying things like this about a lot of the people who I used to watch back in the day, about them hiding their head in the sand, instead of trying to actually speak out about this kind of behavior. They would rather go to platforms and set up their own pay system where you had to go in and pay to watch their stuff, instead of going and still being on YouTube or being on Rumble, or being on a social network, and I think that that's something that is what's really becoming more popular, is people are running from the problem rather than looking at it and saying, "Look, man, we need to do something to put a stop to this because it's getting out of hand." I think that's not productive. I don't think that it's something that should be ignored, because it is a problem. And I give kudos to Elon Musk for finally standing up to these people and saying, "You know what, go fuck off, dude." And they did this because he actually had Donald Trump on X interviewing him. I find that that's the worst part about it. So for me, that's one of the issues that I've had And I think that that's something that needs to be really addressed. It's really messed up that these kind of things are taking place, and that people don't actually stand up and say, look, man, this needs to stop. We've got to stop having people, dictate to us what it is that we can listen to and what we can't listen to. And the people who freaking consider themselves, separate from that don't want to have all that censorship or that data stealing and all that shit. Who I'm talking about, all of you. You need to really think about it. Okay, are you really standing up by going to another source, or are you running away from it because you don't want to confront it? Because it's going to come to your neighborhood soon. You might think that you're able to hide, but you're not able to hide. They're out there, and they're waiting to pounce on you when they have the opportunity to. So you're next. I was saying that to the people who are in the paranormal communities on YouTube whenever Alex Jones was getting he was having problems. You know what I'm saying? He ended up having issues with his situation, and everybody that had videos and stuff of that nature about UFOs and ghosts and things of that sort of stuff, they were kind of like shying away and not freaking being a part of it. But I turned around and I told them straight out in my communities. I was like, look, man, you need to understand they're going after Alex Jones right now, but do you think YouTube really wants you on their platform? Do you really think they want you? They're here. You're next, and that's what it comes down to. You're next. They're going to come after you, and that's exactly what they did. Mr. Robot, yeah, he finally got onto the website. There you go. Welcome, Mr. Robot. Yeah, Mr. Robot is one of the people that I have been friends with on Minds Chat, and he's also on Minds.com. He's pretty cool. He's been on a couple of my streams too, so I'm glad to see that he's finally onto the element matrix. So he says he's fashionably late to the party, which he always is. He's every time we have stuff that we're supposed to be doing together, he's always late getting here. He just doesn't know how to keep a schedule. Now that I'm done with that, I also wanted to mention another thing that happened. Apparently, there's people who are in the process of trying to get Donald Trump, get him into jail ahead of time before the elections start. I found this out last night, and I figured that I would actually bring it up in this stream because it's pretty interesting. This kind of goes back to the birther movement with which Donald Trump was actually a part of, but it had something to do with Obama and his birth certificate. And there's a guy down in Texas who was bringing up an issue that was related to elections. And I know that this is true because I did do research on it, but there was a thing that concerned who is allowed to run for president and who isn't. And then it also goes into it also goes into who can be president and who can't. Well, everybody knows that you have to be a national citizen of the United States, a born national citizen in order to become president. But not too many people know that you don't have to even be a citizen of the United States to run for president. There's a difference between running for president, and there's a difference between becoming president. You know what I mean? So anybody can basically run. You can go down and you can fill out the paperwork and say I want to run for president, and you could be born and raised in freaking Africa or South America or Canada. It doesn't matter. But once that election is over, if you actually won, then you wouldn't be permitted to be president of the United States because you weren't nationally born. And that was something that the birthers were discussing. And I found out they were right about that. But the one thing that I do want to go and I want to check out is criminal convictions to see if you can be denied the right to hold the office of president after being convicted or even being in prison, you know, and serving time in prison. So that was one thing that I did want to cover, because I think that's pretty important too. I think it's a pretty crappy thing that they're doing. And to let everybody know too, I am voting for Donald Trump. I'll tell you that right now. And I'm doing it for one reason. It's not because I like him or because I believe in any of the stuff he says, but it's because when I sit and I watch the things that are going on now, and people will try to tell me that there isn't some kind of persecution going on when it comes to this man, that there is no way I'm gonna believe him. You know what I mean? Because you have to be an idiot to freaking not believe that there's that these people are doing this stuff, and they are coming after him hard. You know what I mean? And I think that it's an injustice to not just Donald Trump, but to us as American citizens and to the court systems. It's sad that our court systems have been reduced to tactics like this, where they're using these kind of things to go after people, like they're a lynch mob. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with it. I don't believe in it. I think that it's something that needs to be shut down. It needs to be stopped. So that is one of the things that I did want to mention, and I wanted to bring up as well, because I'm sick of it, to be honest with you. I'm sick of watching this garbage politics taking place that has absolutely nothing to do with important issues. I watched that first debate, and I had mentioned it before, I'll mention it again, but I thought that I had stopped watching the debate halfway through. So I later decided to watch it again, and the thing about it is that was so bad was I didn't stop watching it halfway through. That debate was so freaking horrible that by the time I got halfway through, my mind had told me that I had stopped watching it, and I didn't. I watched the entire freaking debate, but it was so bad that I did not want to watch it. It was that horrible, you know what I mean? But I still watched it, and it took me watching the debate again before I realized that I had watched the entire thing, you know. And this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. You know, they get on there and they want to debate, and the only thing they frickin' talked about was frickin' transgender frickin' bathrooms and frickin' immigration. You know what I'm saying? I mean, dude, our economy is going to shit because frickin' they decided that they were going to frickin' give out money to frickin' people for 2 years straight and close down frickin' businesses. And everybody thinks that oh my goodness, yeah. Mr. Robot wants to know if I have any cool topics coming up for live. I'm telling him, yeah, I have them on now. But yeah, I turn. The thing that got me was that gets me is there's nothing going on that's taking account of all of the important shit, like the economy. That's something that needs to be taken care of, because right now we are in a fragile state, and not only us, but the whole world is in a fragile state. Um, uh, I yeah, Mr. Robot's being a distraction. He's like, oh, what is this live? Yeah, he finally realized that he's actually on stream. So yeah, you're on live, Mr. Robot. People are watching you. Yeah, from all over the place. All those sites that you don't think's cool, they're looking at you right now. He won't even get on YouTube. Mr. Robot's one of the weirdest people I've ever met in my life. He is. But yeah, that is basically the only things that I have an issue with. And it's pretty sad, don't get me wrong, that I am voting for Donald Trump for those reasons, okay? But it's better than some of the shit that I've been hearing people talk about when it comes to these elections, and even the one previous to this. I mean, it's just horrible. It's bad politics. It's garbage, And I really think that it needs to be. Those are issues that also needs to be discussed. What kind of stuff is it that we need to be looking at when it comes to politics? Now there are some things that I do think needs to be put to a stop too. Like teaching sex education to 6-year-olds in schools. I think that is a crazy thing. Now. Okay, yeah, he's finally gotten on there. He says Trump is losing cannon if he gets Trump is a loose cannon. If he gets in, the public needs to hold him to his word. I think he's been talking about bombing Iran and shit. Hello, folks. Yeah. Um, I don't understand why everybody thinks that Iraq or Iran is really that big of an issue, to be honest with you. It kind of goes back to like the whole thing about freaking the Soviet Union, even in China too. Like, if you stop and you look at all the aggression that's been taking place, the borders of China hasn't gotten larger in a long time. I think Tibet was the last time that they actually occupied a freaking territory, and they're talking about Taiwan now. But I mean, even with Taiwan, you got to ask yourself: is Taiwan does it actually belong to China or not? I mean, the people who claim that it doesn't is the United States and Australia and all these countries in that area that would actually be harmed by it. You know what I mean? So when I think of the crazy things that are taking place when it comes to Iran, I think about, look at all the aggression that's been put against them, and I don't ever remember a time when they actually aggressively tried to take other territories after the Iran-Iraq war. And they really weren't the ones that were the bad guys there. It was the Iraqis who were there. They were the ones that were bombing them with chemical weapons and shit, So, and I've done I've checked out a lot of stuff when it came to Iran. You know, these were the Persians, and like, you know how everybody's big on talking about freeing the slaves and stuff like that, and you know, civil rights movements and stuff. I mean, the Persians were the first ones that were against slavery. They actually have um, a motto that's supposed to be at the UN, which was quoted from uh, uh, what's his name? I keep forgetting it. Sargon, you know, Sargon the Great, about freedom and slavery, you know, and he didn't abide by slavery. He was against it. He was the first empire out of all of them that got rid of slavery. But you know, people don't want to hear that. They want to hear it the other way around. You know, we're supporting Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia has the worst record when it comes to freaking valuing human life and equal rights and all that shit. But yet we give them money so that they can bomb freaking, you know, other countries for us. Instead of us actually freaking standing up for ourselves, we'll go out and use another country as a proxy so that they can do our dirty work for us. So, yeah, that's the one thing that gets me, you know. Okay. Now, he went on to say, I think a big one is that the power structure of the USA needs to decouple from Israel, the Zionist lobby. That's crazy. Iran is not a threat, but Israel's leaders have a bee in their bonnet against them. Would not surprise me if they did the assassination on their prime minister recently in that helicopter crash. Yeah. I try to stay away from most of that because I've been around a lot of people here recently that love to jump into a lot of that stuff, and most of them, their motives aren't really all that good. I try to stay away from words like Zionist on my shows because most of the people who are doing that are just point blank racist. They're white nationalists, and all they care about is pushing the Nazi propaganda. So, and I know Mr. Robot. He's not about all that. You know what I mean? He's not one of those guys that I don't believe, but. I do believe that frickin' there is issues that we have to take into consideration when it comes to Israel, you know, and one of them is like we need to stop sending money over to them so that they can be like Saudi Arabia is a proxy to do our biddings for us, you know. There's a lot of things that happened here in history, in recent history, that people don't really want to talk about. You know, like they don't want to talk about the fact that we used Israel as a proxy in order to deliver nuclear weapons to frickin' Pakistan, who, by the way, ended up getting it from Israel into Azerbaijan and then over from Azerbaijan into Pakistan. That's where they got their first supply of weapons. Thank goodness it was defunct, or they wouldn't have been able, or they would have been able to have nuclear weapons a lot sooner than what they did. You know, and a lot of people forget about that. They're so worried about Iran having these nuclear weapons, but they don't realize that Pakistan has them too, you know. And how did Pakistan get it? You know, probably the same way that frickin' Iran got them. You know, and we've been supporting Turkey. That's another issue that's being overlooked. You know, Turkey is crazy. We've got so many things going on when it comes to Turkey, and nobody wants to look at that. That's why I like listening to Sibel Edmond talk and Corbett with the Corbett report, because that's what they talked about. They talked about stuff that concerns that, and I suggest that if anybody wants to watch that and and get a little history on what that's all about, then you need to check them out. Check out Sibel Edmond. She actually was around when 9/11 happened, and they ended up putting a gag order on her so that she wouldn't talk anymore about the information that she was involved with. She was one of these interpreters that had to go in and interpret what was being sent between terrorist groups, because she knows how to speak Arab. So she went in and she was listening to it, and there was a lot of information that came out. Okay. Now, Mr. Robot said, I just used the word in the traditional sense. They exposed themselves, including Joe Biden. Said he was one. Israel is just an example. Foreign nationals shouldn't have that much power over your own government. Here we have a similar problem with China, and Tran is on too, and he said Joe Biden said a lot of things, doesn't make them true. Then Mr. Robot goes, well, the 100 billion has given them say it's possible. And you gotta understand Mr. Robot, he's got kind of like a mixed accent between South African and Australian. So whenever I'm reading his stuff, it just sounds really weird. It's kind of like Rapid. Whenever I read Rapid stuff on Nostalgia Gaming Retro, he's Scottish, so he's got this Scottish accent, and he writes it all down. So you gotta excuse me on that stuff. These guys are foreigners. But yeah, I don't like I said, I understand that you're using it in the traditional sense, Mr. Robot. That's what I was trying to say. I know you're not trying to do that, but I do have to say there are people right now who are actually doing that stuff, and they're doing it for a reason, you know. It was like the other day I did my part on this whole thing about Molag Bal, you know. And I got down and technical about all of it, and I put it on one of my previous episodes, and it got so bad that YouTube made it 18 and plus. Had only people over 18 can watch that. So and I was just telling it from the facts. I mentioned the history of where this term came from, and how it came about being, you know, and Babylonian freaking divination and all this crazy shit. And it got to the point where, you know, people finally, or YouTube finally decided that you need to be 18 to watch it. So that's what I'm all about, you know. It's people don't want to hear that stuff. That's the whole thing, you know what I mean? They want to try to censor it out and make it to where nobody can hear it, and then they try to blame it on kids, you know, like, oh, you don't want kids to hear that stuff. Well, why don't you want kids to hear that stuff? Why don't you want kids to hear about freaking where they came from and the traditions that the people before them had? It just because it's not pretty doesn't mean that it's not true. You know what I mean? Stop trying to protect these children, because the truth is most of these kids grow up, and by the time they get out of high school, they don't want anything to do with history. So the only time they actually get a chance to learn about this stuff is in college, and they don't want to freaking take college courses on history, you know. So they literally miss the important information that they need to know about what's really taking place in the world. And I think that's that's one thing that also needs to be brought up when it comes to politics, and to the poor education that we've actually got. These schools are buying freaking books for their curriculums that go according to freaking, goes according to freaking which ones are the populars, the bestsellers, because like the average person doesn't realize that textbooks have a bestsellers list. You know what I mean? And the average school always buys the bestsellers for everything: history, math, all of it. They have a bestsellers list. No, I really don't. I don't think the average person. Mr. Robot, yeah, he just said that he thinks people want to hear it until they realize it's still relevant and important today. Um, I don't think they really want to hear it. I think that the ugly truth scares the hell out of them. I've gone through that with a few people. I actually I bumped heads with Karma Love on my live stream for history because she just went off when we were talking about it and we brought that topic up. Okay, now I love her to death and we still get along today, but you can't deny the fact that that didn't happen. And the average person doesn't want to hear that stuff. Now, me and you, we're big on we're big on doing subjects like that, because me and you've sat down for hours having conversations like that. Now, that's different, okay? But I'm not talking about me and you. I'm talking about the average people. They do not want to hear the truth. Yeah, I know. Um, he says most people get their history lessons from YouTube now, I think, but we can't trust a biased platform that censors us to be unbiased towards history. We need more shows like this on YouTube, alternatives like Odyssey and Rumble. And I agree. That's why I wanted to do the streams on Odyssey and Rumble. I know that this one right here is going to be put on BitChute as well after it's done. For some reason, we've had I don't know what BitChute is doing, but now they're actually taking my stuff and putting it on there. I didn't even know they were doing it. I didn't do any syncing or anything of that nature. They just started doing it. That kind of makes me wonder if maybe they're on the same program that Odyssey's on. Now, that brings me to another subject. Let me see how much time I've got on this. I'm going to keep it going on the whole politics thing for an hour, but after that, I'm gonna get into what you're seeing over there on the side. I don't know if if you are actually watching the video, guys, you'll see how I've got the platform set up, okay? Or not the platform, but the chat. And over on the right hand side, that is a perma page, okay, from the perma web. Before anybody came in here, I tested it out, and this live stream isn't working for me. So I wish it did, but it didn't. That can go. But even below this, I have all of this set up. So we have the Minds Roundtable playlist there for Rumble and stuff like that. And this is straight up Arweave. So that's kind of what I'm wondering, if that's what's going on with BitChute. Maybe they're using Arweave as well. Eventually this is what I want to get into and stuff, but I do want to mention that after we get to the end of the hour and stuff. So I do want to talk about that, and it's a really interesting thing. So the the URL is going to change. I'm going to have to get. Well, let's just wait until the end of the hour. We got uh, 30. No, it's at 46 minutes since I started recording. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into that after we're done, and we can talk about it. And I really think that this is a good deal. It's clunky, don't get me wrong, but I think it would actually be a good deal for doing stuff. Especially when we were talking before. I know Mr. Robot wanted to do something like a shop. I did too. There's other people who are interested in setting up shops where they can sell stuff uh, that could help out um, with content creators and stuff like that. There's a lot of good people that could actually sell something without going on to YouTube and doing their freaking sales pitch, where you have to go on, what is it, Teesprings, and we can do it through AR, which is from Arweave, and get that taken care of. So he says, "Okay, I'll be quiet for a bit." But yeah, I wanted to bring up the stuff that I found out about Trump. They're going to try to expedite his jail term, get him in jail before the presidential elections are finished. So that was what I wanted to bring up, and I said my piece on it. I'm glad that we were able to talk a little bit about Iran and China and all that stuff, but that was something that was current news that had something to do with that had something to do with the elections. And I do think that anybody who's able to vote here in the United States needs to actually make an effort and go out and vote this year, because this is very important. It's not a good idea to just ignore this and pretend like it's not happening, because it is happening. You know what I mean? And it's something that really does need to be recognized and looked at, because I don't know, there's a lot of bad shit happening, and there's a lot of shit that's coming down the wire, and if we don't try to do something about it, shit's gonna get bad, and it's gonna get bad, you know what I mean? So let me see here. I believe that at the moment I am at 49 minutes. I am going to do something that is something I usually do, but I am going to do it again right now, because I basically need to go and take a quick break real quick, but at the same time I'm wanting to put on some music that we do have, because I've been trying to put out music for people that have been supporting me and stuff, and if anybody wants to get involved in that and they want to be a part or and they want me to share their music on here during live with Roger Hanson, let me know. Just make sure that it's not copyright infringement. It's your material, and you're not using other people's shit inside of it, because like I said, I'm doing it on Rumble, I'm doing it on Odyssey, I'm also doing it on X, as well as YouTube and Twitch. So we've got a whole bunch of stuff going on. So this one that I'm going to be putting on is something I think Mr. Robot will like. It was from Austin Todd, and it's called it's about the Mayans. So he did his rendition of something concerning the Mayans, and we're going to check it out real quick and see what it sounds like. Oh, that's cool. You got Mr. Robot's got some music making, so cool. There we go. I can't wait to hear it. And for now, I'm going to put this music on. It's a long one. It's gonna be 12 minutes, and I will do another song after that. We're going to take it to the end of the hour so you guys can actually enjoy it, and I'll come back and we will talk about this website and everything, and start with that because I think it is something that needs to be done. And to be honest with you, I do not want to spend the rest of this hour, which is 15 minutes, but I don't want to spend it talking about politics anymore. Politics really does kind of disgust me. I hate saying it, but it's true. So I hope you guys enjoy this song, and I'll be back.
by fields fed by massive grid works of irrigation canals. These great city-states were connected by an intricate web of trade routes, stretched for thousands of miles through the Mayan highlands, plateaus and lowlands. Great city-states of the Maya were under the rule of kings. Trace the lineage to their gods and were worshipped by the people. And the people believed that kings mediated between them and their gods. And the kings performed religious ceremonies at the center of the Mayan culture. By 750 AD, as the warfare and sacrifices only increased, overworked land also began to lead to massive crop failures. The crop failures led to food shortages, famine across the land, and deforestation from overbuilding put an end to the growth of the city-states. By 900 AD they lay abandoned, reclaimed by the desert and jungle.
Okay, hope you guys enjoyed that. Now, there is one thing else that I wanted to put on here. I've been promising to show this as much as I possibly can, but I haven't really been doing it very much on these shows. I'm going to go ahead and do this and be quiet real quick because this is a friend of mine, Sonia. She was just on an excellent episode of Into the Abyss with me where we discussed astronomy and divination, a little bit of divination. But this is her product that I've been kind of pushing for her to help her out. So here it goes. Once I get it started, that is. So, I figured I'd do that short one. She's not really big on television, so if you guys haven't noticed. So, I went out and I actually got my smoke break in, but I was not able to get my coffee, which is fine, I guess. But we can recover from all that. Hopefully. I don't know if we can or not. I'm just trying to be hopeful because coffee is very important to me. It really is very important to me. It's the elixir of the gods. It's what makes the world go round. Just so you guys know, if you don't know that already, and if you don't believe that, then something's wrong with you, and you need to be fixed. Somebody needs to take you in and just fix you because you're messed up. So I have 2.5 minutes before I get to the hour. So I do want to mention that why I got into that last part that I was talking about was because a lot of people have this misconception about where a lot of Jewish mysticism comes from. You know what I mean? And I went in and I kind of gave a history lesson on that. And YouTube not only freaking made it to where it was 18 plus, but mysteriously I got a suggested video too, which was really weird. It was from Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger did like a video where it was against hate. You know what I mean? And it wasn't bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say that it was. I mean, he was carrying a positive message. I do believe he was doing that, but I find it odd that just because I ended up doing a conversation on it, which it wasn't a negative message whatsoever, it was just the truth. It was where these stories originated from and how they were manipulated by other people later on in history to freaking create a lot of death and destruction. You know, and that ended up getting me a suggestion from him, which that's what they do on YouTube with algorithms. That's how you get a lot of your suggestions and stuff. So since I've been gone, Mr. Robot had created a song, I believe. Now, this one is 2 minutes and 11 seconds.
In the digital haze, saw the world unfold, ciphers and codes, running through the lies, what is mine. Protect what is mine. Hack the planet. Encryption, securing my life. The war properly based. Organic sounds collide. Guardians away. In the shadows we hide. Silent whispers. In the cold I confide. Hack the planet. Encryption, securing my love. Behind the screen, love is encoded. Beyond the dream, we're not corroded. Hack the planet. Encryption, securing my love.
Excellent song, Mr. Robot. There we go. I got to turn the audio back up. Excellent song, Mr. Robot. Now, see, this is what I'm talking about. We have complete complete control here, right here on the chat. You know what I mean? I ended up bumping heads with Angel on Skype because he had his little opinions about me posting up, you know, things telling people that I set this up. And, you know, I hate being mean and upset with people when it comes to this stuff, but you know, I did kind of fire off on him about it because, you know, for one thing, he's got a big ego, and that's the one thing that really gets on my nerves about people. You know, I hate saying that, but it is true that. And second of all, he started talking about something that he really didn't know what he was talking about. You know what I mean? And that is that just gets on my nerves. So the whole thing of it is this is kind of what I was talking about. That, you know, we've got some pretty cool stuff here. You know, people get to see it on the stream. Mr. Robot, I barely have a chance of getting him on my streams with me so that we could actually hang out and talk. And now he has an opportunity of showing some of his stuff, you know, that I can put up on the stream live with you. He had a song right here that we just played. You know, I thought that was pretty cool. So that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. This is the kind of stuff that I wanted to do. I wanted people to be able to interact with me, and we could actually do stuff together and make a video out of it. So, and I haven't been able to do that even on Minds Chat. You know, this is the same program, by the way, that Minds Chat is set up on. This is how far behind that chat system is because they refuse to go in and update it. And they're apparently getting ready to close it down. So what I wanted to do is, well, now we are ready, I guess, to talk about what I'm doing here. So this is the second hour, and I will begin to talk about it now. And what I wanted to do is come in here, and I wanted to set up something like we've had on Minds Chat, okay, which is elements commonly known as the Matrix. Now, I went in and I set up the Matrix, and on the side right here, if you look, you have extensions that you can add, and I have YouTube set up and I have it pinned, and that's why you see the YouTube stream plan above. Now down below this where it's custom, what I've got here is my perma page. Alright, now this perma page is set up with, okay, yeah, there we go. This perma page is set up with the perma web, and the perma web is the basic out or layout that they've got for Odyssey now. Odyssey is doing something through Arweave, which is a pretty good setup. That's something that I'm wanting to get involved in doing on my own with this, my perma pages. I've got one set up for Live with Roger Hanson, as well as one that is set up for well, first let me make sure you guys can see that it's set up for the Wonderful World of Weirdness. Okay, and this is all hooked up through Element, the Matrix, as well as having my perma page over here on the side. Now down here, what I've got set up here is my portfolio with all the playlists that I have on Rumble, if anybody wants to check those out, for Live with Roger Hanson. And at the bottom here, if you go down to the bottom, it also has my contacts, where you can reach me by email, which I don't even have to have that, because right up here at the top, I have that as well, with this little A in the envelope right there. So I don't even have to have that. It's already set up. Now, down here at the bottom, there's actually something else that's pretty cool too, but I have to get there first to show you. But down here it says, if you appreciate my work, consider supporting me. Every little bit helps. And this link right here goes straight to my PayPal. Now, if I wanted to, I could set it up as well to where it would go and it would actually allow people to pay in ARs, which is the token for the Arweave. Now with AR, I could actually go in and I could put my content on the Arweave or the R drive, and I could do it directly from the R drive onto the Arweave and wherever else I wanted it. And this would in turn make it to where that content could be monetized directly to me through the AR token. Now, that's pretty cool actually, but when I went in to check it out, what I found out is you do have to pay for storage. Now I believe you have to pay for the amount of storage for each video. I'm not quite sure if you have to continue to do it, but I know that like I've been reading on it and I'm not quite aware of it yet, but I'm going to go through and I'm going to keep working on this. I set up the perma page first. I went through and coded it out and got it set up with this, and I want to improve on it later on, you know. And eventually what this is going to be is it's going to be my content from our drive that's going to be posted up on here, and every time you click on it and you watch it, it'll freaking help monetize me. And if you want to make donations for PayPal right now, you can do it, and then later on when I get things better established with our drive and Arweave, then I'll start doing that with directly to the R-Weave, you know what I mean, to where freaking those donations can go towards this and improving it. But I still have to go through and I have to sort it out. But this is the kind of setup I'm wanting to do. And the thing about R Drive is like I was talking about before with like me and Mr. Robot was talking about him. He's involved in a group called Doof, and that's over in Australia. And they're kind of like well, the equivalents of what we have with like the Rainbow Tribe or Burning Man, you know, with people who like to live out in the wild, you know, and create their own stuff like beads and bead necklaces and, you know, furniture and stuff like that and sell it. And he's trying to figure out a way of setting up a shop to where he could sell that kind of merchandise and help them out. Whereas, like I said with Sonya, you know, she's selling her shirts and stuff of that nature, and she has different stuff that she's trying to sell too. I'd like to make a shop to where freaking, you know, people like Mr. Robot could sell his merchandise and Sonya could sell her merchandise. And with me, I want to be able to monetize off of content as well. Then I've got John and Austin who are into music, and we could do that with their music as well, where they earn these R tokens, AR tokens, and that can be converted over to Ethereum or over to Bitcoin and then into cash if they wanted it, you know what I mean? So I do know that can all be done. I've been working with Mr. Robot and Bob Dub on Mint Me, and so far I haven't been able to figure out how to convert what they have there into actual cash. So for me personally, when it comes to this cryptocurrency, this is the head of the game, you know what I mean? This is what I know will actually become something good. I also found out that this isn't a part of the regular blockchains when it comes to cryptocurrency. It's actually got its own blockchains going on. It's separate. And I could have a better explanation for it if I actually take time. I know I've covered it before, but I don't have any of the notes set up and ready to go to talk about it, you know. But I wanted to show you where I'm at right now and what I've started on it. You know, this is legitimate for me. This is what I want to do. I'm wanting to create an environment through tokenization, you know, that'll help create, you know, an environment where people can actually monetize their own content. You know what I mean? And not just their own content, but like people who want to actually buy and sell merchandise on the internet and make real money off of it. I actually had a little bit of an issue where me and Bob Dub and me and a few other people involved with Minds Gaming bumped heads, you know, concerning this, because, you know, for me, when I go onto the internet and I do stuff like this, I'm putting real money on this stuff, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, there's people who come on the internet who are doing this stuff too, and they're using real money that could be feeding their children and freaking taking care of their family, but instead they're going off and they're working a 40-hour job so that they can come home and they can freaking funnel the money that could be going to their family into the internet just so they can get free shit. You know what I mean? Like, that's not, you know, things that aren't worth monetary gain whatsoever. And this to me seems realistic because it gives people a chance to have their make-believe tokens like they got on Minds.com, which is not monetization. It's just for fun and games, for sharing your content, and no money value at all. And I understand the whole boost thing, where you would usually have to pay for boosts with real money and blah blah blah, but it still doesn't freaking help with people who are freaking putting money into that stuff and not getting a return out of it. You know what I mean? Okay, you're getting more views, but you're not making money off of that. You know what I'm saying? It's basically, in my opinion, been turned into a popularity contest, and that's all it is. It's just a freaking popularity contest. Oh, look how many views I've got, and it's not cool. It really isn't. I don't think it is. I think that the content that people put on the internet should be worth something. You know what I mean? There's a lot of time and effort that's put into this stuff. People freaking spend hours and hours on the computer trying to create good content for people, and they should be given the respect that they deserve. And this is a way of doing it. It's just saying thank you for what you've done. You know what I mean? And that's just how I feel about it. I've sat and I've watched a lot of these platforms take advantage and manipulate and lie to these kids, even, saying, man, look, if you do this or you do that, you can freaking get a lot of views and make money on what you do, and they have to wait freaking 2-3 years doing this shit for free before they can freaking be monetized. And then when they get monetized, they're lucky to freaking get enough money to go out and buy a freaking candy bar. You know what I'm saying? And then they have to have a certain quota and a certain amount of views and all that stuff in order to keep that monetization. So they're being held on by a string so that they can freaking get money from these people, and it's not even enough money to where they can freaking say, hey, you know what, I can go ahead and quit my job and freaking do this full time. And that's what a lot of them wanted to do in the first place. That's the reason why they do it. You can bullshit yourself and say whatever you want, but it's true. People don't just sit here and put this stuff on the internet because they freaking love to just do it. You know what I mean? I love doing this stuff too, and I'm not gonna lie, I do. I'm obsessed with it. But in the end, the only reason why I post this stuff up is because I want it to turn into something that's beneficial, that can actually help me, help my family, help the people that freaking are around me. I could do this stuff on my computer by myself without any of you guys ever watching it, Oh yeah, Mr. Robot, you said he does it for the love of it. Yeah. You don't even care about freaking doing it on a regular basis, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have fun with it. That's completely different. And there are people like you too, but I'm talking about people who like get in here and they actually want to freaking get monetized and stuff of that nature. That's not even an interest to you. I know, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's 2, maybe 3 different kinds of people who does this stuff, And I understand where you're coming from, but you got to understand, I'm talking about, there's people who can actually make a benefit from this stuff, you know what I mean? And instead of being slaves, basically, you'd love to do it full time. Are you serious? Mr. Robot, I know you. Okay? I know you. You don't have a schedule whatsoever. Yeah, I just seen that. I just don't have your discipline at the moment. It's not discipline, it's insanity, dude. Okay? It's not. discipline. It is insanity. I this stuff drives me freaking nuts. Okay, and I've been saying that from the beginning, and I'm gonna say it again because it's the truth. It, I love doing this stuff, but it's also insanity. The reason why, see, right now I'm supposed to be on break. I'm supposed to not be doing anything whatsoever. Me and Tan and Mark Edworthy finished up on we finished up on Tech Talk and what was the other one? Oh, Roger's Real Time Talk Show. And at that point, from that to now, I was supposed to not be doing anything. I was supposed to be taking a break, but I had to come on and I had to do this. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm up to my 8th episode on this one while I'm taking my break, and I just did a stream the other day for Wonderful World of Weirdness for Into the Abyss, which, by the way, if you would have been disciplined enough, then you could have been a part of, because I know you would have loved that topic, Mr. Robot, but you decided that you couldn't be there or something, I guess, you know. But I know you would have loved being there. You should go check that out and get back with me, because I think you would enjoy it. We were talking about the astrology and divination. Leave it on 24/7 and cut out the middleman. I don't know about all that stuff. Well, I could, I guess, but the only thing is I would have to have content that is actually running. And I had my plan for the 12-hour streams, but I realized that there's no editing tools that can handle even, well, 8 hours is pushing it. I've got 8-hour blocks that are set up, and even with that, I've got to make sure that I'm disciplined enough to switch those 8-hour blocks after they're done. And that means that I've got to literally time myself when I go to bed and when I wake up, so that I'm able to get up and switch those 8 hours that I'm asleep, you know. So I don't know, that might not be a good idea. I'm currently, well, I learned my lesson on that when I was doing Blender, and so far I haven't found any kind of programs that can render out 8-hour blocks of video or 24-hour blocks of video. That was my first wake up call on my 24/7 live with Roger Hanson. But I do have my block set up. It's going to be all of our stuff put together, so be aware of that. They are coming out soon, and I'm talking about all of it. I've already got some of them on YouTube set up, but I'll have the other ones coming out too, and I'm scheduling all of the posts that we've done on Rumble. They're coming out on there too, just so you know. So it, like right now, our content is freaking raining like freaking. It's like rain falling down on the internet community, dude. It's being posted up on Rumble. It's going out on YouTube. Not as much as what it was, but it's coming out on Rumble like you wouldn't believe. I'm also posting it up on Mint Me. I've got it scheduled for X. So, you guys are getting famous. I don't know if you realize that or not, just to let you know. But it's, yeah, I heard you're going to school. What are you studying right now, Mr. Robot? I don't know if he heard that. he says he's in full-time study at the moment. Had to do assessment, SOZ. That's code word. It's one of those new internet code words. He says I'm studying. Oh, he's studying cybersecurity, of course. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that's one thing you've always been cool about, wanting to do the cybersecurity. He says he can't be a dirty hacker all of his life. Yeah, I know. I realized there was a lag between us. I've been noticing that a lot. Like I said to everybody on the stream, Mr. Robot is in Australia right now, so we learned that with Austin Todd earlier this year. Whenever we were doing Austin Todd, and within the vacuum, they were playing, trying to play guitar with one another, and the lag was messing them up. So that's one issue that I do want to work on and try to get going and get set up. But yeah, I have noticed that. Now, this whole thing with Arweave and stuff, that's one thing that I did want to bring up, and I figured I would put it out there to you. What do you think so far from what you're seeing here on the chat and everything? Do you think this is worth actually following up on and keep on going and improve? Because I really like it. I think, and the cool part about this too is Mark went in and he also synced this up with Riot as well. So not only is this like the Matrix, but it's also the Riot, which I guess is it's the previous version before Elements. So we do have that set up, and he also said that with hosting, we don't have to worry about that. He's going to set it up to where he'll be doing the hosting for us. So we're going to have that all hooked up and ready to go. But I do have to say that I am going to have to go on our drive, or not our drive, but on permapages and put domain names onto the permapages. That's the only thing that I'll have to be worrying about. Oh, he said you're doing a plug real quick. You need to let me read that before. Okay. I think it's a great idea. I love it. Doing a plug real quick. We had a chill session in Hacker Radio last night. Your morning, if anyone wants to something different. Yeah, and the Hacker Radio, by the way, that is pretty cool. And hopefully, if Mr. Robot sees fit to do it, he could set Hacker Radio up on the actual Elements, like he was wanting to do before when we first brought this up. I think that would be a good idea. Bring it just straight up to Elements, because you know as well as I do that eventually mine's chat is going to be done. All right. So you don't have to post in it. Okay, not yet. You don't have to post in it right now, but eventually you know that you're going to have to. So okay, good. He says he will be bringing it to the Elements, so we'll have it all set up and on Elements and everything. Now I was going to get into the GUI and sentimental stuff that I was gonna start doing in maybe the last hour of this, but I don't know if I'm gonna do it. We've got some pretty good stuff coming in with Mr. Robot. I was gonna talk about spirituality, my spirituality, but being alone is when you do stuff like that, because I don't want to hear no shit from Mr. Robot. Okay, he says he can also help with the domain and SSL certs on your site later, maybe. Well, the thing is we with that I want to be able to set up the domains for the web the perm pages separate from the domain or the hosting for elements. You know what I mean? Because the perm pages are actually separate. These are just widgets. Like whenever I go in and I do coding, I have to go to perm pages to do it. This isn't actually a part of the elements matrix um, chat. So, but at this point, with the elements, that's the part Mark said he can help out with. But yeah, when it comes to the permapages, if you want to do that, yeah, there you go. That would be cool. That's exactly what we need to do, man. Is because I mean, like I said, there's like different factors of it and everything. And if you, because I'm gonna be doing it too, but if you could kind of like do some research into Arweave and do some research into the permaweb and see what we can and can't do, that would be amazing. Then you could kind of like cross-reference stuff with me and help me out with that way, because I don't want to mess this up. You know what I mean? This is something that I think we all need to work on. Oh my goodness. Have I seen the channel Hidden Knowledge? Hackliberty.org. Oh no, I haven't heard about it. But yeah, I'll check it out later. But yeah, I mean that's something that I really and check it out with Arweave too. I think you'll be impressed with it. And even Tan, when we were doing Tech Talk, we were going through this, and he point blank said, "Roger, this is exactly what you wanted to do. Like this is exactly what you need." And I agree with him. I mean, I think this is the route that I've been talking about wanting to do it. And I had this idea for quite a while. I just didn't put it together yet, and for a short while there, I was waiting on Mark to kind of pull some stuff together with the program he had, but he kept having issues with it. And we took our break, and I decided, well, you know what, I need to get started on it. So I just kind of came up with this idea, threw it together, and I've been thinking about it for a while since I found out about Odyssey and everything, and what they've done. And I was like, if Odyssey can do that, then I can do the same thing, because it didn't sound like it was too complicated, and it's not. Like, I can go in and I can do the coding on this, and they even let me do Markdown. That's how easy it is. Like, permapages lets me actually code in Markdown. That is awesome. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you're familiar with Markdown, but that's the easiest coding I've ever found in my entire life. So, even though I do have to relearn coding all over again, I know how to Markdown. You know what I mean? That's what's so cool about it. It's a really good setup. It's really the best way that I can even say it. They really did a good job. Now, I don't want to upset people, but I've also they've been saying that this is like a once you put this stuff up on permaweb, it's supposed to be up there indefinitely, permanently. But after further research, I found out that it goes away after 200 years. So, yeah. It is the bomb, Mr. Robot. It is definitely the bomb. Now, I don't know for sure, but I believe that if you hit the call thing up above. You could probably go in there and do a video call on here too. I believe I've got it set up on there, but I'm not sure about that. So it, I went in and I also wanted to see if I could actually set Skype up with this to where people on Skype would know that we're doing stuff and people on there. Now I can do this. I could do that naturally with Jitsi, but I don't know if it would have a time limit like it did on Minds.com. If it has the time limit, then I wouldn't do any of that. Yeah, there you go. See, you know what I'm talking about with Markdown. Yeah. I love Markdown. Markdown is the shit. I love it. But yeah, with Jitsi, that's the one thing I gotta test out too later on. I'm gonna find out if we can do Jitsi on here like we do regularly when we use Jitsi, or if it has a time limit. Now, when we tried to do it on Minds Chat, they only gave us like 10 or 15 minutes. So if it does that, then I won't even mess with it. But later on, I'll test it out and find out, because we can go on Jitsi, and I know we've had streams on Jitsi for 2-3 hours straight without any interruption. So that's something that I do want to find out. If we can do Jitsi with this, I think we would be set. It'd be perfect. Yeah, I know. They do have some markdown in the chat. Now, if I did code in the chat, then I yeah, I do know that. You did your headphones and stuff. Yeah, bold letters and everything. I was testing it out to see if I could sync up Skype with Elements, and I found out that, like, I was using Mark as a freaking guinea pig basically, and with it, what you do is you do the code to see to where when you go on a show with Skype, it'll give notifications here telling Mark that a show's just started. You know what I mean? But you have to do that manually. And I found out that incorporating it into Elements isn't really all that great, and it's because of Skype. It's not because of Elements. It's pretty messed up. So it would be cool if I could do that. And later on I can see if maybe I can do it on these permapages to where it'll just pop up on the permapages. But I went in and I tested out this live stream that I put down here, and that's not looking too productive. It just shows this, and then when you go to hit play, it doesn't respond. You know, hit the space bar and it scrolls down. But that, oh wait, there we go. So that does respond. Your volume responds. It's just the actual play. Maybe I have to do, you know, it doesn't do any of that. Which, that would be cool if it did, you know. But it doesn't. I can even do widescreen. I just can't get this bad boy to play. Yeah, you see? It will not play it. There's no audio, no nothing. Now, I went in here and I also set up links that Oh, wow. I didn't expect that. What is that all about? That white, that made it all white. It's all whited out. So yeah, basically this is the whole extent of it. I mean, I am working on it. You know what I mean? This is, you got to remember that it is a work in progress. No, I'm not monologuing. I'm talking to you, Tran. Actually, he doesn't realize that we're actually talking and having a stream at the same time. Although I'll tell him to go to uh, hit play on the. I tell him to go to the extensions. Go to extensions, fan, and click on YouTube. he's, he's like, who are you talking to? Looks to me like you're monologuing. That was funny. He's like, who are you talking to? He's live right now. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Mr. Robot. But yeah. And see, when we were all back in the day, when we all wanted to start all this shit, when we were all happy because mine's started a live stream, and this is the kind of shit we were talking about. About getting the chat community together and setting something up to where we could do stuff like this and hang out, and I think this is a positive way of doing it. This is, and Mark kept talking too about, and Tan too, they kept talking about how Minds just wasn't updating their program, and they haven't done it in a while, and I didn't know that it was that far behind, because this is actually good shit. Like, we should be able to do this stuff on Minds Chat. There's everything that I've done here is absolutely free. There's no money involved in it whatsoever. So, I mean, and this is what I wanted to do, actually have a live stream where we're all talking and hanging out and having a good time, and I'm glad that we're able to do that tonight. This is really good, and I'll put some more music up if it's like I said, Mr. Robot, as long as it's not copywritten and it's your shit, I'll put your songs on there too. So just don't put nothing of Sakura up there, because I know how much you like her. You're a Sakura lover. Yeah, I miss it too. It's pretty good stuff. Well, we just started doing this in the last week, just to be fair. Okay, yeah, put your gangster shit up, and I'll play it. I'll get a long track from John, and then we'll do yours too. John Clark is, there you go, there you go. We like gangster. We're all about the gangster. What's up? What's up, dog? Now, how much time do we got here? Yeah, we got like 9 minutes until the end of the hour. No, we got 15 minutes going on the recording time. I keep looking at the wrong one. So let me go in here and find something from John. The best song that I like from him, I can't use because they have like one little part in the song that I guess they borrowed from somebody else, and I went and I put it on there, and I could not believe that it was freaking copywritten. It was like just one little piece. Yeah, I seen you posted that on on uh on mine's chat. That was pretty cool. The one with the pirate and everything. His shorts. Okay, yeah, he's got. Yeah, we can do that. Dead of Night is the one that he just gave me. So I may do that one real quick with your song. But let me see real quick. No, I can do Dead of Night. That's a better one. Just do the music. If I can find it again. Oh my god. Oh, there we go. 412, Dead of Night. Alright, yeah, I've got that set up. We're going to do one from Old John, Dead of Night, and that one is My Gangster Robot. Look at that. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Now see, that's the kind of stuff I've been wanting to do on Blender. I know everybody's all big on the AI and stuff, but I'm also big on like the Blender, you know what I mean? And I'd love to do stuff like that. It's just for that kind of stuff, it'll take a longer time, you know what I mean? And that's exactly the kind of shit I want to do. My big issue is freaking the actual human body. You know, I have to really break down and start actually concentrating more. That way I can do freaking good stuff with the human body. Like do the head and then the body. And then doing models where they freaking actually talk, doing the frames and stuff and move in animation. That's probably going to be the hardest thing for me. And I really don't even know if this computer could handle that kind of shit, even though it's better than what I had before. I don't know for sure if I could handle it. It could handle it, so have to get more freaking gigs in the memory sticks. You know what I mean? I didn't even realize how much they actually put into that stuff. It's crazy. So yeah, that's the thing, the skeleton templates, even adding it onto it. See, you've still got to model the body around the skeleton. That's the bad part. The skeleton is what makes it function, makes it move, and stuff of that nature. Yeah, I know. I'm thinking about doubling my memory. I've been having conversations with people on that, and I always mix it up between 32 or 36. I can't remember exactly how much it's supposed to be, but it could be 34 for all I know. But it's right in there. That's what I need in order to do proper animation. Everything else is fine. Like I can have an 8-core CPU, no problem. But it's the memory sticks that caught me. I ended up getting what was it, 16 gigabytes of memory, and that wasn't enough. So there are some things that I can't do that I've found out, like, but that's all due to the memory. But on the bright side of all that, it's better to freaking not have enough freaking memory in the memory sticks than having to go out and get a new CPU, you know. So I actually won out on that one. I came up short, but at least it was on the memory and not on the CPU. So I'm happy about that. All right. So 9 minutes. I'm going to start doing. Well, I want to start doing Mr. Robot song, and I'm gonna grab some coffee, and I'll be right back. So this one is Digital Uprising by Mr. Robot. Hope you guys enjoy.
Listen up, y'all. I got a message for the masses about a system that's broken and the people who are passive. They're watching, waiting, and controlling every move. We won't be held down. We're gonna hack this game apart. I'm a ghost in the machine, a specter in the code. I'm the one they can't catch, the one they can't hold. I'm master of disguise, a chameleon in the night. I'm the one who's gonna take the fight to the light. I'm hacking through the noise, I'm breaking through the code. I'm finding the back doors, exploiting the strain. I'm a rebel with a cult, revolutionary the plan. We're taking down the size of one server at a time, man. King with me, the truth shall set you free. Hack the planet, crack the cabinet, reach the firewall and spill the packet. They're watching every move, they're tracking every stride. But I'm one step ahead, I'm gliding with the tide. I'm a pirate on the waves, a bandit in the night. I'm the one who's gonna take the fight to the light. I'm encrypting my thoughts, I'm hiding my tracks. I'm using the shadows, I'm striking back. I'm a force to be reckoned with, I'm a storm in making. I'm the one who's gonna take the system down, no faking. Crack the cabinet, breach the firewall and spill the packet. Hack the planet, crack the cabinet, breach the firewall and spill the packet.
Alright, that was pretty good. So we have that one. Now I'm going to put one of John's newer songs up so that you guys can check that out. Now I'm not sure if this one is the newest one that he has. I know that he put these on Spotify, I believe, and they're finished, but this could be one that was done before he actually finished it, so you guys are getting a behind the scenes song. Alright. That was actually pretty good. Now, let me see what's going on. My window capture went down. Yeah, there we are. We're back up. So, he said, don't play anything from Roger Hanson infamous 1973, but your viewers might like it. Check it out. Yeah, there you go. Hacker Radio. Now, he actually brings up a good point. Now, this is good stuff, okay? But understand that it is not YouTube friendly, and that's all we will say. But he does have excellent freaking mixes. I call them mixes because I'm older. That's what we used to call them back in the day. Okay. He likes to call them some other shit like I forgot what the name of it is. The new stuff where it's the same thing. It's just a different name is all it's called. But it's good stuff. You know what I mean? So just be aware of that whenever you do watch the stuff. It's good. It really is. So I am going to be right back. I'm going to put a song in, I guess, but I have to let my cat out because that little dude keeps going to the door and acting crazy. So let me see here real quick. What have I got that I could oh yeah, here we go. I am going to put in something that was donated to me by the new Cafe Enigma, so that you guys can check out some of the stuff from them. These are pretty cool. Mark was just he's the one that runs that. He's a pretty cool dude. So I want to go ahead and open up that and let you guys check it out and see what you think. So here you go.
On the airwaves, secrets to unfold. Listeners all gather, mysteries untold. Cafe Enigma, where the strange come alive. Tune into the unknown, feel the thrill in the vibe. Ghosts in the hallway, aliens on the line, discussions on a wavelength, beyond space and time. Hear the tales of the cryptic, otherworldly sight. In the Cafe of Enigma, we talk through the night. People seek answers to the questions they hide at the all-new Cafe Enigma, where the truth can't abide.
Alright, so put that out there. If you guys want to check out Cafe Enigma, feel free to do so. I have a few other cool places that I go to on the internet that I'd like to be able to kind of throw a plug in for. And if you guys are interested in doing that, then send me your shit. You know what I mean? Because that's what I'm about. I'm wanting to put plugs in for the smaller content creators who can't afford to get their word out. So if you've got music, if you've got commercials like Galactic Fire does, then send them my way. And she is in chat. She says, "What the heck?" So I'm saying, this is the heck. Galactic Fire. Glad you're in chat. Glad you checked this out. This is the stream that I've been doing right now so that I could take a break, because not doing streams apparently is driving me crazy, and I'm doing my best to maintain Galactic Fire. I also want to thank you for being on my show yesterday. That was awesome. And since you're in chat, I can actually tell you in person and say thank you. Now, I do, what you're seeing here, Galactic Fire, is the chat that I'm getting set up on Elements with. So this is where we can all get together and actually do stuff together live on stream. If you don't want to be on the show and you don't want to talk, then we can do stuff like this. Right now I'm doing solo when it comes to Live with Roger Hanson, but later on I'll be doing other projects, and it'll be set up on a format kind of like this, to where everybody can interact in chat and on video, and it can all be seen at one time. The one issue that I've had with Skype is the fact that when you go on there, you have to use window capture, but every time you move around to other browsers, it ends up losing that, and I can't use the browser. Actually, I have to use window capture a lot of times to do it, and if I did it like this, then I could actually make it to where you can see what's on that, and you don't have to worry about changing around and stuff of that nature. And I really hope that you're still watching, so because I may have just wasted time in explaining all that stuff. So, but glad you showed up a little bit. There we go. See, now he's got another video. What I am going to do right now, though, is I am going to keep a close eye on a lot of the things that are going on, because I noticed that my frames are dropping, and the kilobytes per second have been going up and down. So I am going to keep a close eye on that, and we are now at 2 hours and 8 minutes. Mr. Robot, is that a song that you think is appropriate to put on here? If it is, I'll play it. But I gotta know from you first, because like you said, there now, like I was talking about, but I got kind of carried away. He's got good stuff on Hacker Radio, okay, but and a lot of the stuff that he puts on there, he has no problem with other people sharing. Just okay, he said no, don't do it. But just understand that it's not YouTube friendly and Twitter friendly. So whenever you do, well, you had the Okay, that's just art. So yeah, that's cool. That's appropriate. I was more worried about it being copyright infringement kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's cool. That is pretty cool. Put that on a loop. That would be awesome. So what I'm going to do real quick is I am going to share my some of my stuff so that I can go and use the bathroom, come back, and maybe do a little bit more conversations. Like I said, I was going to do spiritual stuff today, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I feel uncomfortable doing that with Mr. Robot around. I think he'll pick on me and make fun of me if I did it. So I just don't feel comfortable. He makes me feel awkward, like a woman. So let me see first if I actually have any of my stuff. If I don't, then I might have to actually sit here and pee my pants, because that's how we roll. I have a friend of mine that brings up a good story. I have a friend of mine. He's a gamer, right? And I won't mention his name, but he was recording. Yeah, Mr. Rose said I'll look away. Let me finish my story real quick. This is good, but he's sitting there and he's streaming, or he's got a stream going, and he's freaking playing the game, and he had to step away to use the bathroom, and he's recording this, and he couldn't step away from it. So what he does is he actually pisses his pants, and he's telling this story, right? And everybody's listening, and they're like, well, you know, freaking. Well, first of all, we were all laughing about it. You know what I mean? And then his buddy, who's another name I won't mention, he turns around and he freaking. He responds, and he says, and the messed up part was when he was doing the video, he was recording it. It wasn't even a live stream, so the dude's sitting there and he's freaking pissing his pants, and it wasn't even for a live stream. He was freaking recording the damn thing, and I'm like, oh hell no, dude, that's just wrong. That is just wrong. So, just a little bit of comedy there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and do one of mine, and I will come back. It's about 15 minutes long. It'll give me time to smoke a cigarette and get some coffee, use the bathroom, stuff of that nature. And while it's playing, I'll come in and we'll have a conversation with Mr. Robot in chat too. And first I have to figure out where this file is, because yeah, I am kind of confused at them. Okay, there we go. I know where it is now. It's in my unedited video file, which everybody picks on me because I'm very, very meticulous about my filing system. And I get shit for it. So let me figure out where I'm going. Okay, 24-hour stream is where I need to go. And then, there we go. I figured it out. I made it to the appropriate place. Yep. And we will have it up and running here in a second.
Where there is hatred, 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 hatred. Where there is hatred, 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 hatred. Let me bring love. Where there is hatred, 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 hatred. Let me bring love. Where there is hatred, 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 hatred. Where there is despair, 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 despair. Where there is despair, 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 despair. Let me bring hope. Where there is despair, 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 despair. Let me bring hope. Where there is despair, 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 despair. Where there is darkness, 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 darkness. Where there is darkness, 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 darkness. Let me bring your light. Where there is sadness, 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 sadness. Where there is sadness, 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 sadness. Let me bring joy. Where there is sadness, 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 sadness. Let me bring joy. Where there is sadness, 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 sadness. one to another, never stopping. There is no pinnacle development, never stopping, never stopping. The moods flow from one to another, never stopping, never stopping, never stopping. Defined in the moment, defined in the moment, defined in the moment, and becomes 2 life forms, then 3, then 4, then 5. The birth and the death, the birth and the death, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 3, then 4, then 5, occur in the same instant. Winter turns to spring and the summer turns to autumn. Death is life. Achieve balance, 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 achieve balance, balance, achieve balance, achieve balance, harmony, 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 achieve balance, harmony, 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 achieve balance, harmony, harmony, harmony. Cause the energy to flow, flow, flow. Cause the energy to flow, flow, flow. Cause the energy to flow, flow, flow. Where there is hatred, 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 hatred. Where there is hatred, 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 hatred. Let me bring love. Where there is hatred, 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 hatred. Let me bring love. Where there is hatred, 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 hatred. Where there is despair, 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 despair. Where there is despair, 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 despair. Let me bring hope. Where there is despair, 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 despair. Let me bring hope. Where there is despair, 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 despair. Where there is darkness, 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 darkness. Where there is darkness, 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 darkness. Let me bring your light. hatred, hatred. Where there is hatred, 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 let me bring love. Where there is hatred, 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 let me bring love. Where there is hatred, 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 hatred. Where there is despair, 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 despair. Where there is despair, 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 let me bring hope. Where there is despair, 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 let me bring hope. Where there is despair, 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 despair. Where there is darkness, 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 darkness. Where there is darkness, 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 let me bring your light. moods flow from one to another, never stopping. There is no pinnacle development, never stopping, never stopping. The moods flow from one to another, never stopping, never stopping, never stopping. Defined in the moment, defined in the moment, defined in the moment, and becomes 2 life forms, then 3, then 4, then 5. The birth and the death, the birth and the death, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 3, then 4, then 5, occur in the same instant. Winter turns to spring and the summer turns to autumn. Death is life. Achieve balance, 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 achieve balance, balance, achieve balance, achieve balance, harmony, 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 achieve balance, harmony, 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 achieve balance, harmony, harmony, harmony. Cause the energy to flow, flow, flow. Cause the energy to flow, flow, flow. Cause the energy to flow, flow, flow. Where there is hatred, 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 hatred. Where there is hatred, 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 hatred. Let me bring love. Where there is hatred, 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 hatred. Let me bring love. Where there is hatred, 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 hatred. Where there is despair, 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 despair. Where there is despair, 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 despair. Let me bring hope. Where there is despair, 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 despair. Let me bring hope. Where there is despair, 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 despair. Where there is darkness, 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 darkness. Where there is darkness, 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 darkness. Let me bring your light.
Okay, so I hope that did a good job at helping everybody out on figuring out what I am into when it comes to spirituality. Sorry, I was joking around about that, earlier. I wasn't trying to be a smartass or nothing. I've been putting stuff like that together here recently. Maybe a little bit later I can have a straight up conversation about it, but to be honest with you, I'm like last night we had a conversation about when I sobered up, and Naroki said some good stuff, and then I ended up saying some stuff too. But let me make something clear about this. I sobered up in 2003, and I did have a bit of a spiritual experience. I put a lot of time and effort into learning about spiritual principles and things like that, and through the whole experience, I did develop my own kind of outlook on the situation, and a lot of people's ideas and beliefs that I'm around in this whole situation with streaming and stuff. It has absolutely nothing to do with like my spiritual beliefs, you know what I mean? So when I talk about things that are spiritual to me, they're not really about ghosts or supernatural things. They're really personal, and they have to do with my behaviors and my principles and the things that I believe in, you know what I mean? So, and also, like, I want to make something clear too. I did learn all this stuff going into AA and NA and recovery programs, but I haven't, or I was in these 12-step programs for about 8 years, and I've been sober, away from drugs and alcohol, for 21 years. So 16 years of the time that I haven't touched alcohol or drugs, I haven't been in these programs, you know what I mean? So in that aspect, I haven't been really a part of that program, and a lot of people who are in these 12-step programs really look down on stuff like that because they think you should be going to meetings and stuff like that for the rest of your life. But my path went another direction. It's not saying that I still don't practice, a lot of the stuff that I learned, but I do have to tell you that my whole opinions on that has changed. When I first sobered up, everything was like sunshine and beautiful. But as time went by, reality set in. That's basically the best way I can say it. So, and I had to learn that everything isn't so beautiful and full of sunshine, you know what I mean? There's reality. There's an old saying that I did learn that I really like. It's good to have your head up in the clouds, but your feet need to be firmly on the ground as well. And that right there to me is the best explanation for balance. And that's kind of what I was doing there with Bob Dub's voice, kind of putting that message out there that you have to have balance. There's life and there's death, and then there's balance. So I really enjoy doing stuff like that, and that's really what I want to do. I hope you guys enjoyed that. But there you go. I'm open to any opinions about spirituality, is what Mr. Robot said. Now, he's doing deep dives into Buddhism, and just so you guys know, that symbol on there, that was on that video, that's something that me and Mr. Robot's been working together on, and he's the one that came up with that concept with me, and or to me, and I ended up going on Blender and doing that. So he's got a lot of cool ideas that we've been talking about putting together and everything. So you can expect to see a lot more cool stuff. I've got other stuff that we've come up with together too that I haven't shown yet. Well, I may have. I'm not for sure on some of my other videos, but not when it comes to music. And that has audio visualization on it too, which I was really happy to do, because that came out, in my opinion, it came out really, really good. So yeah, I agree with you, Mr. Robot. He says, I think anything can be seen as beautiful or ugly. It's really up to the beliefs of the beholder. No, that's kind of the stuff that I actually got into when I was in the 12-step program. So, and you know, when I do stuff like this, I don't want to make it like a spill or a preach session on sobering up, because I think that doesn't really benefit people when it comes to talking about spiritual experiences, because like, especially when somebody sobers up and they freaking start talking about these programs, it turns a lot of people off, you know what I mean? And I don't think that that's beneficial. I don't think it's of maximum service to other people, you know what I mean? It's just like a preacher trying to preach to you about God. You know, the moment you do that, you turn people away. And I think that's one of the reasons why I have such a hard time talking about it too, because I agree with people in these programs who say, I mean, they discourage that kind of behavior. They're like, don't try to be like Mr. AA going out and trying to save the world, you know, and I think that they're right about that. But when it comes to the beautiful or the ugly, that's something that I agree with. I think you can see it's all in the eye of the beholder. But there was a story that I'd heard about a guy who was a POW in Vietnam, and while he was a POW, he remembered feeding this little mouse freaking cheese, and the more he fed this cheese to this little mouse, the more it would slip in the crack, and it would keep coming back to him and getting the cheese, and eventually the mouse ended up freaking having babies, and he kept doing it, and he kept doing it, and this mouse and these little babies kept coming to him, and he'd feed them cheese, you know. And as time went on, while he was a POW, having to put up with all this horrible stuff, being a prisoner and everything, he kept doing that, and he developed a relationship between himself and these mice, and he considered them as his family, and he loved them, you know. And that was during a horrible time in his life, and to that day he still freaking thought of those little mice as his family, you know. I thought that was pretty cool, you know. It's like you can always find good even in the worst of situations, you know, and stuff like that. Oh, there you go. He says he first found the symbol from an energy research called David Davison in his book Pyramid Power. I see all sorts of cool energy come off that shape. It's cool to collaborate. Yeah, I thought that was cool too. And I do want to say that was a really cool project. That was probably one of the coolest things I've ever done, to be honest, Mr. Robot. Whenever we started, or whenever you brought that up to me, I looked at it at first and I was like, man, that's going to be complex. And then after I started looking at it, I was like, no, man, it's actually pretty simple. I went through and I actually did that without any kind of reference, but as I was doing it, it's really simple to put together. But then when it comes, those little dots on the end of it, okay, on the end of that symbol, those are actually vertexes, and you have to connect them. And as you connect them, you don't have to go around the full circle, because what happens is the freaking lines aren't really going to each of those points. Okay. Now, that was what was cool to me. You think that they're all, you're actually going from each vertex to each of the other vertexes, but what happens is as you go around the circle, you have to connect less of the vertexes. The only thing I had an issue with it was I had to create a wireframe, and in order to make it to where those wireframes would show up in the frickin' animation, I had to frickin' create a face on them so that it would actually show the frame, the wireframe. But that had absolutely nothing to do with the actual symbol itself, other than the fact that I needed to have it show up, But with all that said, I just want to say that was a really cool project. I really enjoyed doing that too. That was fun. And there's other ones that we did too, and I think we should do more of those, because they really came out good. I really do think they came out really good. Yeah, there you go. Matter and antimatter. Excellent. Thank you. This is another one that we put together, and I don't think I've put music to this one yet. I may have. I'll check through it and see what we did. The voice on that video too is Bob Dub. On X, it's Bob Dub from Minds, or of Minds. She's a pretty cool person. You should check her stuff out too as well. This right here was given to me as a project to do by Mr. Robot, and I went in and did that, and that is pretty cool as well. So he says he's got a new one to show you, or to show me, but it's got a spin to show it off, but the music is copyrighted. Yeah. Now I'm gonna tell you something about Mr. Robot. The first emblem that I did in that video I just showed, okay, he showed me this really cool medallion that goes with it. Alright, so I get on Blender and I start freaking putting it together, and I wanted to make it to where it had this medallion around it, okay. So I made it all nice and pretty and everything, and freaking I showed it to Mr. Robot, and he's like a little kid with a freaking lollipop, okay, or like freaking what's his name, Brandon Fraser, or freaking Encino Man, you know what I mean? He takes the freaking, imagine Encino Man taking the freaking wrapper off of the lollipop and throwing the lollipop away, okay? So, what does Mr. Robot do when I freaking create this? He turns around, he throws everything on the side away, okay? Because he wants the pretty little golden side part. That's all he wanted, and the only reason why he wanted it was so he could spin it around, dude. I was like, are you freaking serious, dude? I was like, that medallion is beautiful. And he just throws it away. He just wanted the symbol. That was all he wanted. I got such a kick out of that. I was like, hell no, dude, that is cool. And you know, this right here is beautiful. This is beautiful. I love this symbol. It really is. It's great. And you know, uh, like I said, there's going to be more of them coming, and this is the kind of stuff that I want to do. I want to be able to hang out, kick back, and yeah, I know I like them both too. To be honest with you, I was just picking on you, Mr. Robot. You know, but this is what I want to do. I want to be able to come on here and do this show and kick back with everybody, and do some music together and hang out, you know, stuff like that. Oh yeah, there you go. See, this is the one that I did for Mr. Robot, which that one is good too. But I couldn't believe that you did the. Oh no, this one is the OG one. This is the OG one. This, actually, the original one where I did with it not being translucent like that in the background, or you know what I'm saying, where it isn't see-through. The actual bit thing is the best one, I think, because it actually shows the medallion, and that could be more realistic too, to be honest. I do have to admit that I didn't make it as much as realistic as what it could have been. But yeah, this one is excellent too. I do like that. I actually had the name of this one. I've just got to remember what it is. I believe I actually have it named in my filing system, but I don't know if anybody wants to have me. Yeah, I can actually find it out real quick. Let me go in there. But the name of this symbol is pretty cool, and it's a Hindu symbol, I believe. Mr. Robot and me were talking about it in chat at one point, but yeah, I didn't put the name on it. That's the bad part. It's actually pretty cool. So let me pull it together real quick. Actually, you know what? I do have the actual original for that set up. No, I don't. I need to stop playing around. I actually did enjoy this stuff. It really was fun for me to do, and I've done a lot of animations, you know, and this is just shapes. That's all it is. Now I'll put it out there to anybody who is actually Oh, that's cool. To anybody who's actually watching. If you guys want me to do stuff like this, just, you know, hit me up with a message and stuff. You can contact me through my email. You can contact me in comments and stuff of that nature, and I would be more than happy to do projects for you, because I love doing this stuff. And I mean, my offer goes out to everybody, so it's completely up to you guys. For some reason, they will not let me upload shit on here. Maybe my files are too big. That could be the issue. But I keep trying to do it, and they keep telling me that it failed. Could be in my permissions too. Yeah, I think that one is an excellent one too. Kind of looks Egyptian. Actually, I've seen that symbol somewhere before with the pyramid. That could be Pythagoras, one of his doings. Ancient yeah. Yeah, this alchemical. Yes, that stands right out. That's pretty cool. Yeah, 10 millibyte limit. Yeah, that's probably it. That's what it is. I'm putting them up there and they're too large. I'm not as good as at making the files as small as what they should be, is what Mr. Robot is. He loves doing stuff like that. So, well, I know we're coming up on the 3-hour limit. We actually made it to 3 hours, Mr. Robot. We did a 3-hour show, and we are big dogs. And here before long, I do want you to come on and do a episode of Into the Abyss with me and Sonia, and Mark was there too from Cafe Enigma. It was both of us. Me, you, and Tan were all on here too. So, and I got a chance to show off the chat and let everybody see what it looks like. So, but I do want you to come on later on when I set up the next one, because that one's going to be about tarot cards and stuff like that, and Sonia is going to be doing that as well, and we're going to talk about divination and stuff of that nature, and it's going to involve divination, like feng shui and stuff like that, and things of that. So later on, I don't have any plans exactly on when it's going to be done, but when it's done, or when it's ready, then maybe we can get it going. So I'll let you know later on when we're in chat. Okay. All right, cool. That'd be cool. You say you use it a fair bit, so we can have you on there too. I wanted to have Michael Paul on there, but he canceled out at the last moment, and Mark finally showed up. So, or he actually showed up. And he hit a lot of stuff on the nose. So I think we're gonna have a good group of people getting together and talking about it. So let me go ahead and end this, and I will be back next week for another episode, and I'm glad you were here with me, Mr. Robot, and I hope everybody enjoyed, and with that, I will end the show, okay?